Hey everyone, welcome to the show. Another episode of Cory Means Business podcast and YouTube channel. Got a really good show for you today. We've got a landscaping company. With me is one half that landscaping company. Gavino, the better half, Athena Delgado, and she is the proprietor, her and her husband, Gavino Delgado, are the proprietors of Villita Landscaping, correct, out of Sahuarita, Arizona.
Yes.
And you guys have been in business for how long now?
Oh man, about 6 years now, or no, five or 6 years.
Okay, 5 years. All right, great. From the pre-interview, we discussed, obviously, you've got a really solid company. I really liked your website's great. Your social media presence is okay for where you guys are at. They got a great rating on Google. You come up on Google, one of the first searches on Google, which is awesome. Really good rating on Google. And I believe your husband won an award not too long ago. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What's it called and what's it for exactly?
Oh yeah, so it was in 2019. It was the 2019 Spark Award that comes from the Better Business Bureau. A lot of it was nomination based, so somebody had nominated him for the award. We went to the ceremony. It was definitely very different for us. It was at Casino del Sol. We went. He didn't really expect, I guess, winning, and then all of a sudden they said his name, and we kind of looked at each other, and he was in complete shock. He's not a big fan of big crowds. So.
Oh, wow. So this was like at a awards ceremony type of a thing.
Yes.
You guys were just attendees, and he didn't expect to win.
It was pretty big. There were tons of other businesses. It was really nice. I mean, There were a ton of businesses. They ended up doing a lot of great advertising. He was able to get, I believe it was 2 billboards out of it. We actually saw one when we were on our way to the barber shop, and we pulled off on the side of the road and said, wait, there's a billboard, and it's your business name. So we took a big picture as a family together with it, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think.
Very cool.
I think he wasn't expecting it. Everyone was pretty surprised. It was pretty neat for even just our community itself, just having someone, win something like that who had grown up in the community, which was pretty neat.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's something. Some people spend a whole lifetime in business and never win anything like that. So for him to win something like that, as prestigious as that and as cool as that, and only being in business for 3 years at that point, that's pretty amazing. So that just goes to show, obviously, that you guys are, that type of quality of both people as well as a business. So, which is important. You're going to you want to have a quality business, you have to be quality people. It's just the way it works. People who aren't good stewards of their communities and aren't good stewards of the general public just don't make good business owners. So that's an awesome thing. So with you, we took a look at the pre-interview. What the show is going to focus on, obviously, is what we typically focus on, which is growing a business. Specifically, when I say growing, not just bigger, but making more money. We're very specific about that, right? We want to make more money.
Oh, yes.
We just don't want to grow. We just don't want a whole bunch more headaches. We want actually more money. So, which is great. That's my area of expertise, is to be able to increase income and increase revenue through very specific strategies, which I get paid a lot of money by banks to help small businesses with. So you're in the right place.
Oh, good.
All right. So let's look at some of the factual data of what this company is. Okay. So they've been in business for about 5-6 years now. Husband and wife team, again, very typical scenario there. And I believe you got one employee at this point, or one, and then a part-time, one full-time and then one part-time.
Yes.
And so that's the dynamics of the company. Again, you got social media, you've got Facebook, you've got Instagram, you've got a nice website. Again, you're on Google. So anybody that types in landscaping Sahuarita, Arizona, bam, they pop up. They're the first non-advertiser. They got a couple of ads, and then bam, you guys right there, front page. So front page in any search like that is really, really good. So that's a good base. So that's a good foundation for you guys to be operating from. Okay.
Definitely.
Now, that foundation is only as good as what you do with it after that, right? So laying a foundation in of itself, right? If I'm building a house and I just make this beautiful foundation, well, eventually I got to build the rest of the house. Okay. So you guys got a great foundation, which is good. And again, that's where you want to obviously be able to then build on the quality of a structure, the quality of a house, the quality of a building is only be as good as its foundation. So yes, it's very, very important to obviously have a solid foundation. And you have that. You got good reputation. You got good presence on social media. You've got good presence on Google, right?
Yeah.
And again, you got that good rating on Google. So that's the foundation for the business. Everywhere someone looks at your quality, as far as they look at your, your optics of your company, they're going to see good people, high quality, happy customers. That's a solid foundation. And again, multiple years in business. So all those things are going good for you. Now, how do we make more money? Well, I'll briefly talk about how money is made in the most simplistic terms, because it's important for our audience and for you guys to understand what the factors that go into making money, right? And it's way more simple than most people make it. Most people make making money extremely complicated. Making money is very, very simple. It's a very simple equation. It's mathematical. It's actually in my book, Maximize Your Now. If anybody hasn't gotten a copy of this, go get one. A lot of this book, and this is your copy, by the way,
and
I'll really signing it for you and getting it to you guys. A lot of in this book, I talk about exactly the mechanisms that go into how to control income and how to control money making. So the basics, right? It's actually going to be kind of shallow, because the simplicity of it is, when I tell people this, when I tell people how money is made, okay, most people sit back in their chair and they can't believe that it's that easy, okay, or that simple, because there's nothing easy about anything. Simple. Now, all of us, and again, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Elon Musk or, Jeff Bezos, or you're a dishwasher. We all make money the exact same way. Nobody escapes this equation, okay? Nobody. And I don't care. There's no such thing as passive income. That's a myth. I'll go toe-to-toe with anybody who believes in passive income. It doesn't exist. Here's what exists. Time, which we all have the same 24 hours. Again, the richest man and the poorest man, or richest person, the poorest person, all have the same 24 hours. Yeah. So time is equal for all of us. Now, out of that 24 hours, obviously you can choose to work the hours you want to work out of the 24. You can work all 24, you can work 20, you can work 10, you can work 5, you can work 2, okay? So you get to choose how many hours. Typically, I like to recommend that people at least choose 8 to 10 hours of quality work time. More than that, you could do it short term, 12-hour days. I've done many 12, 15-hour days myself. You can do it short term. If you got a big project you got to get done, you're making a lot of money doing something, roll your sleeves up, get to work for the 12 hours, do the big job, make the big money, right? But on an ongoing basis, 8 to 10, 8 to 10, 8 to 10. So that's the first factor that goes into making money. Second factor that goes into making money. How much do you get paid per hour of work? Okay, that's the second factor. Now, you can get paid, I think minimum wage now is $10 an hour. We'll just say $10 an hour. I know it's $7.75 or something like that, I think federally, but most states got like the $10 an hour or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, so $10 an hour is the bare minimum. Okay, and then you've got, I don't know, Elon Musk. What does he make per hour?
Oh man,
10 million. I don't know.
Probably.
Okay, we'll say 10 million. More than me, that's for sure. Right? Okay, so 10 million, and we'll say 10 million an hour is like the richest guy that makes the most money. We'll say 10 million. Now, can a fighter or whatever, somebody go in the ring and make more than that for that 1 hour? Sure, but we're talking about like 40 hours a week, or 30 hours a week, 35 hours a week, week in, week out. What's the highest rate of regular pay? Yeah. Okay, we'll call it 10. That's probably a little high. I doubt even Elon makes that. Maybe $1 million an hour. We'll say $1 million. So Elon makes $1 million an hour. The dishwasher makes $10 an hour, right? And the rest of us are somewhere in between those two numbers. Okay. Now, how much you make per hour depends upon what you're doing with that hour and what the value of that is in the marketplace. Okay. Now, the dishwasher, washing dishes. Okay. is making $10 per hour because that's what the little restaurant is going to pay a dishwasher, because it's a very basic thing. Almost anybody could do it. It needs like 5 minutes of training. Any 16-year-old high school kid can do it. So again, this isn't a high skill. It's actually a low skill. So the low skill is what equals the $10. Now we take an Elon Musk, it makes $1 million per hour, and we say, okay, so Elon does an hour's worth of work, he makes $1 million. Obviously the skill set that's going into that is a lot higher than the dishwasher. So skill set, right? So skill set is what goes into it. Now you can choose that Elon Musk could quit his job right now and go be a dishwasher and make $10 an hour. No one's going to pay him $1 million an hour to wash dishes. So it's not dependent upon the person per se. It's dependent upon the skill that's being deployed and the actual task that's getting accomplished. Now, I could not take the dishwasher. Now, I could take Elon Musk and I could say, Elon, you're washing dishes today. Okay? And he could probably wash dishes with the best of them. Okay, I'll give him that credit. I couldn't take the dishwasher, though, and put him at Elon Musk's desk and say, make the $1 million an hour. He would sink the ship or crash the spaceship or whatever Elon's got going on these days. He would crash the spaceship right away. Okay, and then it would end up being no one's making anything. They owe a bunch of money because whatever city they landed on, and got to pay the damages, right? Oh, no. You can't. The higher skill set and the task that's being completed with the higher skill set is what's going to equal the rate of pay. So you have time, and you have skill set, and the task that skill set allows to be completed equals the rate of pay. And it is whatever you choose. It is between $10 per hour and $1 million an hour. And at the end of the day, the only person that's going to make that decision is going to be the person that decides what they're going to do with that hour. The dishwasher is making the choice to wash dishes with that hour's worth of work. Therefore, it's worth $10. Elon Musk chooses to do to build spaceships and build electric cars and develop battery farms for countries, right? So then his hour is worth $1 million, and he decides that's what it's worth, and the dishwasher decides. We all decide what our hour is going to be worth. Now it is dependent upon the skill set and the task being completed. I just can't say, well, I'm going to be the only $1 million an hour dishwasher, right? No one's going to hire me. So you also have to, obviously what the market will bear for the task being completed. So trust me, this is going to come full circle to you, but I just wanted to explain the mechanism of making money so it's clear for people that, look, we control it. You control it. Nobody else. Your customers do not control it. Your boss does not control it. The whoever's president doesn't control it, right? None of that matters. What matters is the skill set you're deploying and the task that it's completing, and then the value of that task for someone that is willing to pay you for that, okay? So the task that you're going to do with the skill set that you've acquired is going to be equal to what the pay is, depending upon if someone will pay you for it, okay? Now, let's circle this back around to your guys' particular business. Landscaping. Now, when we talked about, one of the things that I look at, obviously, for any business when I'm coaching a business is I say, okay, take me through your business. What's the thing that makes you the least amount of money and the thing that makes you the most amount of money? For you guys in your particular situation, you told me that the thing that makes the least amount of money per hour, because again, it's what we have per hour. Okay?
Exactly.
Per hour is doing light cleanup, right? So just going to a residence once a month, blowing off the patio, picking a few weeds and, raking the yard and then getting out of there, right? That's the least. Yep. That's the task that pays the least that you guys do.
Yep, that's correct.
Now, let me tell you why it pays the least. It pays the least because just like our dishwasher, doesn't require much skill set.
It's true.
Rake a yard, pick some weeds, use a blower on a patio. Pretty much anything that any 16-year-old kid can do. That's why, unfortunately, it doesn't have a lot of value, because the task isn't very valuable in the marketplace. Now, the skill of the person doing that task could be tremendous. Again, Elon Musk could choose to go and do some general cleanup for for $125 an hour. But again, that's would be his choice, and he would say, you look at him and you say, you're crazy because you have a skill set that's worth more than that per hour. So we then say, okay, smart guy, Cory, well, if that's the thing that you guys do that pays the least, what's the thing you guys do that pays the most? Now, on a per hour basis, because again, we all just have the per hour, You told me that irrigation, installing irrigation systems, and doing tree removal is your two highest, okay? And for those, that can be, what'd you say, $300-400 an hour, something like that you would charge?
Yeah, that's about the gist of it, especially depending on, what exactly they need and, size of everything, but that's about the average, yeah.
Okay. Would you correct me, or would you say I was wrong to say that it would be most advantageous for you guys to be just doing that all day long, right?
That'd probably be a much better,
Right.
at least for income-wise and everything, yeah, it would be a lot better doing it that way. And I think a lot of times, too, when we originally thought about everything, we figured, okay, we have, a small amount where, people do need their general landscape. You gain enough of those folks to where you start making, a lot more of the money. But then, too, just thinking, I guess just when we just had our discussion right now,
Right.
flip-flopping it around, just getting a handful pretty much takes care of almost, 1 week would end up being a month's worth of,
Right. General cleanup.
the
right.
general cleanup, yeah.
Right,
Just doing a handful of those in a day or
Right.
a week.
So here's the conundrum that you guys have. And again, this is not, I don't want to, make this any kind of a thing where it's like I'm beating you guys up for making some big mistakes here. This is very typical. This is nothing that's not very, very usual of every small business. I can tell you, for our audience, everybody is in this situation. Most people don't sit down and really wrap their mind around the mechanism that goes into making money, as far as, I have an hour like everybody else. What do I do with that hour? And that hour has to be done with a task. I have to find a task that I'm capable of doing that has a high value in the marketplace. Now, if you have that skill set already, great. If you don't have that skill set, get the skill set, right? So let's just say you said, my husband, I can make a lot of money doing irrigation, but he's just not that great at it. He doesn't know some of the things. And let's just say that's the case. That's not the case. I'm just saying that's the case, right? So let's say there's some part of it, like, I could make a lot of money doing this, but that skill set for me isn't there. He would want to acquire that like right away, because that would be a task that he could do that has more value in the marketplace than some other tasks that he could do. I can wash dishes. Let me tell you, dishwashers right now, okay? I could outwash dishes at anybody out there. I'll issue a challenge right now. I could out dishwash you any day of the week. But the problem is, it would be worth $10 an hour.
Right.
Okay. I might could do a little extra in here and get $11 an hour, okay? But it's not going to be worth what I can do as far as other tasks that I can do that's more valuable to the marketplace. And hence, I would never want to be washing dishes. I would want to then just obviously do tasks that I can make more money in the marketplace. Hence the reason why I just coach small businesses all day long and charge a lot of money for it. You have to say, look, yes, we love your customers. Now, here's the conundrum she has, and every small business has, and a lot of medium-sized businesses too. This is not even a small business problem. This problem here, I've seen in 20, 30, $40 million companies. You fall in love with your customer list.
Yep, that's true.
And you end up giving your time away.
Yeah.
Right. You end up devaluing your time because you're in love with your customer list. And then you end up, we have this many customers and it takes all of our time to do this and that. And a lot of them don't make us much money, but man, they're good people and we really love them. Right. Well, I'm all for philanthropy, but you can't make a business out of it. Right. You can't support a family out of it. And you can't really serve your community that well, because just doing low level tasks for people doesn't give you resources, doesn't give you the ability to do more for your family, to do more for your community, to do more for your business, and then hire more people. And I mean, just the economy and the way that it works is such that the more money you make, the more money you put back out there, which then helps other people. And that's really what drives everything. Doing free work doesn't help anybody. That's just a sad reality. If you want to give away your time like me, I'm giving away my time right now. Okay, I normally charge $2,000 an hour for the things I'm telling you. I'm doing it for free because I want to give away my time, because I do believe in helping others. Okay, but anyone else, I'm not going to choose to give away my time. They're paying the $2,000 per hour. Yeah. Right. And again, any small business in your situation would say, look, we've got to get rid of our lowest paying customers. You just do. And again, it's when I say get rid of them, it's not like you call them up on the phone and you say, like, we're getting rid of you, right? You don't do it that way. No, you don't do that way. You just like, we're getting rid of you, okay? Yeah. You let the way you want to do it is you want to let them fall off naturally, okay? And there's a couple ways to do that. One, you can just not call them, or two, you can raise the prices. And knowing me, like the way you know me now, so what do you think my vote's for? Number one or number two?
Oh man, probably number two.
There you go. Smart lady. Yes, number two. Yeah. So the easiest, best way to pare down your customer list is to raise prices. And it's not brutal, and you've done it before. You were telling me before you guys have raised prices, right? So when you raise prices, what happened? Did the sky fall? Were people cursing your names? Did you get a bunch of like little dolls out there and people were poking them with pins and stuff?
Oh man,
what was the worst thing that happened when you raised prices?
Oh man, I think the worst thing was just them saying, "Oh really, that's the new price? Okay," and then they just kind of went with it.
Okay, right. Did you lose any customers?
No, I can't say that we've lost any. I think if we usually do, it's mostly because they move away.
Okay. Well, then you didn't, right there, tells me you didn't raise your price enough. Because you should have lost some customers. You should have, because you would want to, right? So now there's another way to go about this besides just like calling up all your customers and saying, hey, we're raising your prices, right? Another way to do it is to say that you can only continue service if they step up the service, meaning if they include other things or if they go on a higher frequency, things like that can also, when I say increase the price, meaning that you take that customer and you get more money out of the customer.
Right.
So instead of doing it once a month and charging $105, you say, look, we can only do people now that are weekly. Unfortunately, our business has grown to the point where we cannot dedicate any resources to just monthly. You've got to go on weekly. And then it'll weed themselves out, because then a certain amount of people will be like, well, we don't want weekly. Okay, well, unfortunately we can't help, but we do have a referral. And what I like to do is I tell people, like, always have a referral, so when you do lose customers, that you can refer them to somebody. And then you just find somebody that that's in the business that you're in, that you like, and you think they're good people that could use the extra work, and you just refer it out. Or let them have the account, right?
Right.
That's one way to do it. Another way to do it would be to expand and to develop another department in your company that would just do the lower level work, because it can't really be screwed up, right?
Right.
So, no one's going to call you up and say, they didn't rake the yard right, okay?
Oh, man, you'd be surprised.
Right? Well, I can see they didn't rake the yard.
Exactly. Or they didn't see the rake lines.
But, for where you guys are at, my recommendation is that you just tell people, look, we have to go, either weekly or at least bi-monthly, and try to lose. Again, you're going to want to lose probably half of your customers, but the other half you're going to step them up to bi-weekly or weekly. So when you think about the money, okay, you actually have increased the money, because instead of all these people that are on once a month, half of them go away and the other half go on once a week or twice a month.
Right.
So they more than replace whatever the ones you lost.
Yeah, that is true.
Except for now you got less customers and less places to go, right? So now you're able to free up more time.
Yep, and that's the important part.
Correct. Because, again, we only want to work 8 to 10 hours a day. We don't want to have to work 20 hours a day to make money. 8 to 10, okay? So then with all this extra free time, then what can you fill the free time with? Now, I know you know this answer already. What would you fill this free time with?
Probably with irrigation or tree removal.
Bam!
Our
you
bigger
got
ones.
it. You got it. Bam. So then now, any new customers that would come on would just be for irrigation and tree removal.
That's
right?
true. That's good.
And then you bring on new customers, not for landscaping or not for general maintenance, not for cleanup, but for irrigation and for tree removal. That way, the time that you're going to gain from getting rid of the half of the customers that no longer fit your business model can then be dedicated back to the higher per hour tasks that the market will pay more for.
That's true.
Right?
Both are necessities too.
Yes, big time necessities. And again, when it comes to getting customers and you say, well, geez, Cory, now here's my problem. Where am I going to find all these customers? Well, where am I going to find all these irrigation customers? Maybe I can't get 60 irrigation customers to replace my other 60 customers. Well, here's the thing, and I think the math is pretty obvious. When you get rid of the lower half of the customers and the other half of the customers end up going twice as much, you've already replaced those customers. The ones that go 4 times instead of once, they are now a net plus. They're a gain, right? We talked about that because you're not even going to have to spend as much time as you're going to charge. You'll be able to actually get an increase in the rate because you're there once a week, so there's a lot less work to do to make it look good, right? Because at the end of the day, you know, and I have landscapers that, you know, come to my homes. At the end of the day, I just want the yard to look good. And that's it. You know, and I don't know how long they were there. I don't know if they were 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or an hour and a half. It's just, does the yard look good? Right? Exactly. That's all I care about. And if they could get it done in 5 minutes, great. The yard looks good in 5 minutes. I don't care. I was paying to get the yard looking good. I wasn't paying for the hour. I was paying for the result. And that's really what you want to base your prices on, is results, not hours. Now, we think in hours, and we think in the value of my time in hours, but you price based upon result, not based on hour. So, and really to upsell customers too is just to say, hey, you know, is your yard looking really, really good to you? Is that important? And of course they go, well, yeah, that's why I have you guys coming here. Okay, so do you really love it when we just leave and it really looks good? Is that how you would always like it to look? Yes. It's true. That's what we can do on the weekly. It'll always look like you were here.
Yeah, it would. It definitely would, especially that, you know, the consistency.
Right, and so then you'll get a net gain out of those people, because now when you go to their house, instead of this big cleanup that's going to take this hour and a half, and oh man, everything's out of control because the big storm came through this last month, and you know, or we're in growing season and things are just growing out of control. All that stuff is eliminated, and now it's a trim here, a trim there, a weed here, a weed there, rake there, blow there, bam, we're out of here. It looks fantastic. The customer is thrilled. You guys are in and out in 10, 15 minutes. On to the next one, okay? That will increase the amount, the rate per hour. Then again, with all this extra time we have, we then just, when we target new customers, we just target irrigation and tree removal customers. We don't do any more. Now, on those customers, when they come in for an irrigation, you know, replacement or installation or tree removal, you know, yes, you would say, hey, look, we offer weekly. If they're in your demographic, I mean, if they're in your area where you want a service. Now, I know with a weekly service, you know, you don't want your husband driving all across town, right?
Exactly.
So you want to have your little circles, little demographics. So if it fits in your circle, right, you would say, hey, I don't know if you know this, but we do weekly services. And then every new customer that came in for tree removal or irrigation that was in your circle and you knew you could make good money off of, right, would be pitched the weekly. No more monthlies.
That makes more sense.
No more monthlies, no more bi-monthlies, only the sweet weeklies where we're in and out in 10, 15 minutes, make the $100, $125, and we're out, okay? And then, so then that's all you're doing. And if we recalculate the rate, if we recalculate the time that you guys are spending for increasing no more time, just increasing the rate, because we're a little sharper on how we're controlling our tasks that we're doing. We already talked about it. We could easily double, triple, if not quintuple your gross sales, which obviously for any business is going to be life-changing. But let's just say we double it. Let's just say we just double it, okay? Now, with more money coming in, right, so this solves the problem, instantly make double the money.
Yeah.
Now, you're already used to living off of the money you guys make now.
Right.
So with double the money, okay, it's not like you need to just run out and spend every penny of that, right? So you would take, I want you to spend some of it, right?
Yeah, just a little.
I trust me. I got, you know, you guys don't know this. I'll tour you around sometime, but I got, you know, this studio is in actually a big garage, which is actually the back of my office. And the reason why I got this was so I could have the studio, but also I have all my toys, because I got just like an unbelievable amount of toys. And this isn't all the toys. I got more garages, and I got other storages, and I got indoors. I mean, it's just insane. I'm a toy junkie. So I'm all for spending in money, enjoying money. There's nothing wrong with that. But you don't want to do it all. You don't want to spend it all, right? You want to take some of it, I'd say at least 50% of it, and reinvest it back into the business.
Yeah.
Better equipment. Anything that you can get an efficiency, you know, increase on, okay? Maybe, you know, and again, I've done landscaping when I was young, and I got quite the story about landscaping, but, you know, just from my knowledge of it, and I'm no longer an expert, but just, you know, tools, equipment, things that would increase efficiency. Let's say a new blower would have a higher rate that would work faster. So things that would make the time more efficient, right?
Oh, definitely.
That comes first. Then what comes after that, as you take this cash and reinvest it back in there, is obviously maybe hiring another person. So now he's got 2 helpers. So now these jobs that were taking 20 minutes to get in and out, now we're in and out in 15. Now we're in and out in 10, right? So then those things create more efficiencies. And then obviously you keep stacking the money. Eventually you're going to want to expand, right? And this can go as far as you want. And the bottom line is every business is scalable. There's no such thing as a non-scalable business. Every business is scalable. And you can scale any business as far as you want it to go. It can be just you by yourself, or you can have, and what's the biggest company in the world? I think it's Walmart. I want to say has the most.
Probably.
Yeah, I think they have 3 million employees.
Oh, my
so
goodness.
right, we talk about the minimums, talk about the maximum. So a company can be 1 person, or it can be like Walmart, and it can be 3 million people. And again, who decides? You decide. And I'm not saying get a landscaping company with 3 million employees. That'd probably be a little rough.
Oh, man. That would be. I feel like that'd be pretty bad, but everything would look very nice, though.
Mm-hmm. The world would be beautiful, man. It'd all be gorgeous. So you can grow it as much as you want. Scalability only comes down to resources. With the extra money that you would make, you would create greater efficiencies, which would then turn into more money coming in per hour, which would then turn into more disposable income coming back in, which then would be reinvested into the business. Take out a little. I always say, hey, take out 50% of your profits, and then put the other 50% back in the business. If you do that, you're always growing your personal income, you're always improving your personal lifestyle, but you're also always growing your business. You never want to take out all the money, and you never want to not take out some money, because you want to have some fruits of your labors. You want to be able to take care of your family better. You want to be able to, obviously give some charities and do some other things. You want to be able to give away your time once in a while, like this, where you're saying, hey, I make so much money, I can give away some time.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
Yes. So here's a key thing, and again, I want you guys to take this to really wrap your brain around this. You either maximize your time and rate, or you give away your time. What you never do is make your time less valuable. Okay, that's the destroyer of dreams. Doing things that are less valuable, which then earns less money, which then traps you into a scenario where you don't make as much money as you want to make for you and your family, and you have no money to reinvest back in the business. That's a scenario that unfortunately I get served up every day, all day. And a lot of them, like you guys, I can come in here with some of this stuff and we can fix it, and people can make double and triple and quadruple, and they can get on this growth path, and they can reinvest in their company and get growing and really start making a difference in the world. The reality is, most of us want to make a difference in the world. I know you talked about that a little bit, and I want to stop talking for a second and let you have a chance to talk. I know you want to do some things for your community, right? You want to give back. I know you were telling me about that in the pre-interview, that you guys like to do a lot of community stuff, and you like to give back to your community. Tell us a little bit about that, and what do you want to do exactly for your community?
So many different things I think that we always want to do. Usually every year, one of our big things is we do a small backpack drive. So ourselves, we put together backpacks, laptops, anything that we can think of for kiddos, and it'd be nice to just kind of scale that a little bit more on a larger, level, because it's something that kids need. Education, I think my husband and I, we both believe, is probably the most important thing. Reading. I'm a huge believer in reading. You should always read. All day.
Reading. This is going to be our next book right here.
It is.
Maximize your now.
Perfect. But just reading, all the time, every day, it's interesting to me that there's, a lot of kiddos and even just folks in general who just cannot pick up a book and read. It's, 5-second attention span. Just scroll, where, we want to be able to get either more books or just more stuff just so kids want to learn, want to read. Our son himself, this past school year probably read over 200 books.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yes, he reads almost a book a day.
Wow.
And he does it pretty fast. He's a much faster reader than I am, so I'm actually a little jealous about that. I always thought I was a pretty good one. But just, things like that. We help a lot with Thanksgiving. This past year we volunteered on Thanksgiving Day with a couple of other, local organizations. We do lots of cornhole events, which sounds pretty funny.
Oh, that's very cool. I love cornhole.
Oh, you should come down. We actually do one.
I'm going to take that as an invitation.
It is. You definitely need to come. It is a ton of fun. But you meet a ton of business owners, a huge amount of community. We actually work with, another, group with raising money. Our son this year actually decided to fundraise for his birthday.
Wow.
Because he noticed that there was a need. There were lots of families who didn't have anything. Another fundraiser that we didn't, get the actual item itself, but we did help fundraise for it. A family was able to get, a vehicle, car stuffed with stuff for their family, computers, again, for education, for school purposes, for all of their, kids. And that was with, it was through cornhole, bags, boards, and blessings and things like that. But it's one of those things where we love being able to give back as much as we can, as much time. We're usually doing fundraisers almost every single Saturday and Sunday. We actually have one this Saturday and one this Sunday that we will be at as well.
Wow, that's awesome. That's great family time too. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Killing two birds with one stone, right? Mm-hmm. So that's amazing. And again, that's typical. And again, typically people want to give back. They always want to give more back. I ask definitely. People, I say, what do you want to do? If you had a bunch of money, like what would you do? And once in a while you get I'm going to go buy a fancy car and nicer house. And there's nothing wrong with that. I got a lot of fancy cars and a lot of nice houses. But you want to give back. And that's really vital, because if you're not giving back, if you're not helping other people, you're never going to be happy. I can tell you, as someone who's bought millions of dollars worth of fancy cars, millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of fancy houses, none of those things make me very happy. Now, it's a reward. I'm not saying I don't like to have them. I do. But my true happiness always comes from helping other people. And so when I can take a small business and I can turn them around, or I can show them some things and they can go out and I get the phone call, hey man, we're, this is taking off. Our sales are increasing. Wow. That for me is the biggest joy that I get. And that's really the real happiness. How many people can I affect? How many people whose lives can I help? Because then if I can help somebody, so if I can take a small business and I can help them grow, right? Well, they are going to go help other people. And so now it's almost like me helping those other people too, right? So now I get to help even people that don't know who I am, never heard of my name before, and now their lives are better because of something that I've done. That's amazing.
That is.
So, any questions you have about how any of this works? Now, this is your episode. And again, I tell everybody this, all my guests, I tell us, look, this is your episode. So this is not like you had to say, I took notes, but you guys didn't have to take notes, because this is your episode. You get to go back and watch this video or listen to this podcast as many times as you want. And I recommend doing a lot, because there's a lot. I go kind of fast sometimes. And so there's a lot here that you can go back and be like, oh, that's right. Okay, I get it. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. You have any questions about how any of this works, or about how anything with business works? Because this is your episode. I want you to be able to listen to it. I
mean, I think just in this amount of time that already solved probably a huge amount of our issues. I know we spoke, earlier, and how, we're so full, so busy, and trying to kind of, I guess, put all of our eggs back in the basket and figure out what we need to do for the upcoming season. And I think a lot of the information is actually incredibly helpful. There's things that I didn't even consider, even just go weekly. Right. I would have never even thought to just throw that out there to kind of see how folks, would feel about that. I mean, that in and of itself, I think would help a lot, especially getting more time. Well, now you got to be,
now, if you want this to work, and again, this goes for everything in life, and you guys pay attention to this as well. What I'm going to tell her right here, you have to be committed.
Oh, yes.
You can't throw it out there and hope. You have to be committed, right? So no plan or any plan is only worth what the person who's executing the plan does, okay? I could draft the best business plan anybody ever saw, and I could have it all drafted out, every move you could make, everything you could say, and it's only as good as the person that's actually going to execute that plan. If you don't execute it, it's worthless. That's a fact, okay? It's like the fastest car in the world. If nobody gets behind the wheel and drives it, or drives it the way it's supposed to be driven, doesn't matter. It's the fastest car in the world. You want to be committed to the structural change. And again, I get that it seems scary at first, because he's like, man, this guy's nuts. He's telling us to get rid of half our customers. Holy shit. Right? And businesses do that. When I tell business, hey, you get rid of half your customers, they're like, oh shit, half your customers. We can't get rid of half our customers. You kidding me? But you do. You have to get rid of half your customers. If you don't, you are stuck in that scenario and there's no escape. And that's the problem. You have to be willing to get rid of half your customers. And again, the worst half. And you can't, again, you don't want to fall in love with the customer. You want to care about the customer. You want to see the right thing for the customer, but you can't let that customer take you down. I compare it to a bad relationship, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, everybody hates their exes or their current, you know, boyfriends, girlfriends, but you want the best for them ultimately anyway. Even when you got to send them on their own way, you want the best. It just, you can't let them take you down. You can't let them hold you back. So if somebody in your life, a relationship, and of course, businesses, relationships, and customers are relationships. If somebody in your life that's a relationship is holding you back from accomplishing what you want to accomplish, they have to go. It's just a fact. And again, you don't look at it as being a negative. You look at it as saying, look, they're going to be better off. I'm going to be better off. We're both going to be better off.
Exactly.
And, you know, I've had customers that I've gotten rid of, you know, and sometimes I just have to fire them. I just say, look, unfortunately, we don't. You know, our missions are not aligning, and unfortunately, it's just not going to be good. But I have a replacement. Now, what I always recommend when you do get rid of customers is you have to have a replacement for you.
Yep, definitely.
Even if they don't use it, just as a referral. Okay, look, I'm not the person for you. Our missions aren't aligning. But to tell you what, I got a great person. I think would be wonderful for you. Here's their name and number. Give them a call. Tell them I referred you, and they'll take care of you. Not a problem. And then you just refer it out, and that way you're the good person in the scenario. You get the divorce you need, and but it's not just a harsh breakup. It's a you know, here's my replacement, right? And they'll appreciate that, even if they don't even hire the person, the new person or the new company. They still appreciate the fact. And then you know, but again, I said the easiest way to do it is always to just raise prices.
Yeah, definitely.
Or raise frequency. Okay, raise prices or raise frequency. For instance, if I had a business that dealt with product versus service, okay, you guys are a service, I would say we have a new minimum order. So if I want to get rid of half my customer list and I want to do it nice and smooth where everybody still loves me, I would say, hey, you know, we got a minimum order. Still willing to take care of your needs, but we have a new minimum order. Instead of 100 widgets, our minimum order is 1,000 widgets now.
Yeah.
So any order you have for 1,000 widgets, hey, we're your people. We're here to help. 1,000 widgets is the minimum, though. Now, if the customer says 1,000 widgets, I can't buy 1,000 widgets. I don't need 1,000 widgets. Then you say, hey, not a problem. I've got a company that can still do the 100 widgets that you want. Here's their name and number. Give them a call. If you ever need 1,000 widgets, come to me. I'm your guy. Oh, okay. Yeah, great. And now they're happy about it, right? So again, that's another way that works really, really well to be able to get your customers. And again, what you'll be shocked of, and again, I get so many people coming back to me and saying they're just absolutely shocked. Most customers will step up to the new level.
Yeah, that's true.
Most will. Most will. And then everybody wins, right?
Yeah.
For you guys, they get better looking yards. It looks better longer, lasts, you know, and you guys make more money. Everybody wins because at the end of the day, they want the result.
Yep, that's true. They do want the result.
They want the result. They want their yard looking great all the time. And if they didn't think that it was worth it, if they didn't think that landscaping was valuable, they wouldn't have you come once a month.
Yep, that's true.
There'd be no point, right? I'll just do it myself, or I'll just let it grow. Who cares, right? So they obviously care already. So by you just saying, hey, look, we want to make your yard look even better. Our minimum, though, to do that is once a week, not once a month, because it's too labor intensive once a month because we have to come in here and we start all over again. Whereas if we come once a week, we're maintaining, not starting from scratch.
Right, that's true.
Your yard will look better longer. You'll love the yard better. It'll be easier for us. Everybody wins. You good with that? And they say yes or no. If they say yes, great. We'll start next week.
Yep.
Here's your new contract. Sign them up. Or they say, no, it's just too much for me. I can't commit to that. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, hey, not a problem. I got a guy for you. Here's his name. Here's his number. Tell him I sent you. You'll love him. Thanks a bunch. Hey, and if you ever decide you want, and again, don't make it don't make it rough. Hey, if you ever decide you want once a week, let us know. We'd love to have you back.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right.
And that's a really good way to put it too.
Yep.
That's very good.
Yep. And so when I say even half, I doubt even half. It would be less than half. But your time is going to be way more valuable.
Yep.
It's going to free up the time to do the irrigation and the tree removal. Now, how do you get new customers? Well, sounds to me like your phone rings off the hook already.
Yeah, but
Okay.
definitely does.
Okay.
We're definitely not short on that.
Okay, well, if it does, right, open back up the phone lines,
Yep.
and then again, just take the customers you want. Don't take customers you don't want. No more once a
Exactly.
month, no more again. Weekly, we do a general cleanup to get you started. That's $400, $500. Up the price on that, because these are new customers. They don't know what you charge other people, right? So up the price on that. You'll make more money doing that. So more money for the general cleanup, and then we do weekly service. At this price, okay, whatever that would be. It depends on obviously how the size of the yard and all that kind of
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
And then you would sign them up for weekly. And again, if they say like, well, I only want monthly, we don't do that. But tell you what, we got a great guy for you, and then refer him to the same guy.
The same one.
And just make him
True.
buy you, make this guy you refer over to buy you lunch once a month or something.
Right, there it is.
And you're giving back to that person too. Find a good person to refer to and
Yeah.
give back. Give back. And then that way that all the new customers coming in are just going to be, again, the irrigation and the tree removal and or big cleanups with weekly service behind it. And then you win, 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 win. Again, I guarantee you, if you do this, you will double, if not triple, the gross revenue of your business. And your profit will probably even go up more than that, which will then open up the door for you to be able to reinvest back in the business and then start growing it. There's landscape, and there's people, for instance, my landscaping store, I did landscaping when I was in high school, $5.25 an hour.
Oh, man.
That was a hard $5.25, let me tell you. I dig ditches, and I was the 16, 17-year-old kid, so of course I didn't get the cool jobs. I didn't get the blow that off with the blower. I didn't get the cool. I didn't get to run the weed eater. I didn't get to run the blower, the hedge trimmer, none of that stuff. I was just picking weeds or digging ditches. That was it.
Yep.
Mowing the lawns. So I know from that aspect of it again that it's not all landscaping is the same. So
Yeah.
go for the higher dollar stuff, so that's where all the new time is spent, and then again reinvest back into the business. And there's businesses that landscaping businesses make millions of dollars. There's big landscaping businesses that make millions of dollars. The owners make millions of dollars a year. They're worth tens of millions of dollars, and they do a lot for their community. Mm-hmm. You guys are young. That could be you too. You just have to decide where you want this to go and then get going in that direction.
Yeah.
And if it turns out that all you want is just these fixes and you guys triple how much money you make and there it is, well, then that's fine too, right?
Yeah.
It's still more for you, more for your community. You can do more backpacks and more laptops and all that cool stuff, which is awesome. So tell everybody how to get a hold of you. What's your guys' website? What's your social media?
All right. So our website is www.lavitalandscapingaz.com. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Google, and Twitter. Let me think. We're kind of Nextdoor. We're kind of all over the place. We're in random little nooks and crannies of the world out there.
Yeah. More exposure is great. All right. And, okay, fantastic. So hit them up on social media, hit them up on their I think on your website, you got a little form to fill out, right, for contact and to getting arrangements, which is great. Better way to do it, especially because you can kind of give them like what you got going on versus just calling and leaving messages, because those don't work as well, right?
Yep.
You prefer people to contact you via like the contact forms, right?
Yes, yeah, the contact form is a lot easier, and the way we have it pre-set up is it kind of lets you know what we have open and available.
Okay.
And right now
Beautiful.
it just says that we are waitlisted.
Right.
So,
But we're going to change that. We're going to change the wait list.
definitely.
They're only taking good customers though. We're only taking irrigation, tree removal, or you're going to sign up once a week. That's what you're doing, right? These people got to make some good money so they can help their community out.
Definitely.
All right. Well, awesome. It was great having you as a guest. Again, this is your episode. Feel free to listen to it, share it with other people. For you guys, obviously like, subscribe, follow them on their social media. The bigger we make this community where we can share all this knowledge together, the better. Again, changing lives and helping people downline is what it's all about. So like, subscribe, share, really appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. See you guys on the next show.